like the wing of a sparrow or a plane drops down a couple feet again to catch the wind that still remains, but I'm left breathless anyway. I thought the world ended in March until I heard the doorbell ring. Just me here standing in the dark, but I'll light up everything again. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end. This can't be the end of all that summer had to say. What little time has gone away, I'll glue it all back anyway. I'll glue it all back anyway. This is a first-rate town, but all you ever notice are the ways it's stretched too far. And it has been knocked down while some of us are still left here between the scars. But when you look around, all you ever notice is you cannot see the stars. This is a first-rate town, you know. You just can't see very far. When the last door closed, you packed your clothes and went back to Montreal. Said it was colder there, which still hangs in the air. It helps you forget it all. You left an empty bookshelf that I didn't fill till fall. This is a first-rate town, you know. You just can't see it at all. Well, it will fade as all things must. I loved you, but you didn't love me enough. Winter comes, the car will rust. I'll start it up, then always run a little rough. This is a first-rate town, and all you ever notice are the ways it's stretched too far. But keep the death rates down, it's colder than a winter spent in defrosting cars. We talked a lot of leaving, didn't think you'd get that far. This is a first-rate town, you know. You just can't see very far. I came in a bit before the opening said I took the bet. I know the rest is good, I guess. The cavern is a crowd around and I can scarce get by on second breaths between the breaths. Now it's 1 a.m. and I don't know how I'll get home. The way is barely paved. I I'd never leave my house alone. Another evening in between what I believe and what I know and what I know. So I walked out the back before the second set settled my debt. I'll miss the rest, that's fine, I guess. The cavern is a crowd around and I could scarce get by a second breath between the press. Now it's 3 a.m. and I don't know how I'll get home. The way is barely paved. I can't keep my eyes from closing, so I'll hit replay. Sorry baby, I just don't know the words or how to conjugate them. Was it really past tense I heard, or was it present perfect? Maybe we could forget the time you faced that friend without me. Maybe we could go back to mine, pretend it never happened. Oh, when we're always out of time and you say it will be fine, well I just can't find the lines. Oh, hope I know what to say when you throw it all away. Sorry baby, I've been drifting again. Could you repeat the question? No, I guess I do not know when it first became a problem. Sorry that it's all such a mess. The words, they seem to leave me. Didn't really quite catch the rest. Not keen on it repeating. Oh, when we're always out of time and you say it will be fine, well I just can't find the lines. Oh, hope I know what to say when you throw it all away. When you throw it all away. Sorry baby, I just don't know the words. Was it really past tense I heard? Maybe we could forget the time. Maybe we could go back to mine. Well, I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. I think that I've been drifting without you, drifting. And now I know that you've been gone. Why do I have to stay here on the ground? It's overrated. The cityscape escapes you with a sound. It's delineated. I waited at the station for an hour, but I won't make it. You take off on an updraft by the tower, and you overtake it every moment. I see you on the rise. You're drawn across the sky. Now that ink has dried, and I can't tell you why. Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? Or maybe can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell you why. I've been thinking that I can't quite get enough time on the inside of the cycle that you spin with gravity and dust. I'm falling in between the planets and the sun into the orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. Now these space is filling up satellites that I can't seem to keep track of. I get the feeling I'm not quite made of the right stuff to float between the rings of cosmic metal love into the orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you.
Ignition sequence.
That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you. That orbit that surrounds you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Zealous Racing League. My name is Shim, and I'm going to be your host for tonight's race, like always. It's going to be a wonderful 45-minute race tonight here at Laguna Seca in beautiful, sunny California. At least right now it seems to be fairly sunny here on track. 21 degrees, air temperature 22 degrees, track temperature for our drivers. So things seem to be cooling off here in the afternoon hours, the evening hours, but should be some good conditions for some nice clean racing today. Before we begin, I do want to apologize. I've happened to be losing my voice today, so I'll be probably trying to keep it a little bit more subdued than usual. As you might be able to tell, my voice already seems a little bit scratchy, at least if it doesn't come across in the stream. It definitely feels that way right now, so gonna try to not go too crazy tonight and keep things under wraps so I can try and save my voice as much as possible. But like I mentioned, we have a 45-minute race tonight here at Laguna Seca. It's going to be a tricky one for our drivers. This track seems to provide a lot of challenges, I find, for new and veteran racers alike. And thank you, Dale. I'm glad that you find my voice beautiful even in its worn out state. But anyway, a lot of drivers I find this track fairly tricky. It's definitely more of a it's not much of a speed track. It's more of a technical track. Flowing corners, a lot of tight corners, makes it very difficult. And you always have to be watching out and being aware for who is around you and what's around you, just like what maybe occurred right there with some contact there during our practice session. But I find there's a lot of key points of this track that do lead to quite a few troubles, or quite a few what should I say, stumbling block parts of this track. Um, one being the famous corkscrew, although I find the turn right before it, the kink that goes up the hill, and the Andretti hairpin, I find those to be actually even more difficult to handle. Andretti hairpin is one of the few places, it's not the only one, but one of the few places on track where overtaking, I would say, is actually possible. If you get a good run going down the start-finish straight and get side by side with someone, there's enough options going into the Andretti hairpin there where you could pull off an overtake there, I think, easier than others. And then if you go to the kink, well, the kink is just tough technically. Even if you've been racing for a long time, nailing the kink is something that takes a lot of time and practice. Just to um, just to make sure that you brake correctly. You don't even want to brake that much. It's just a brush of the brake as you go up the hill there, just to get the car slowed down enough and rotated enough. Really, it's the rotation that you need through that kink so that you don't go wide, because there's a huge sand trap right there on the outside and you're going to get caught up in it and you're going to lose tons of speed going up that hill. I think out of all the places on track, that kink is the hardest, or the place where I see the most drivers making mistakes. But anyway, looking at our championship leader right now in the Pro Division, Christopher Larson, had a bit of a rough showing last time out. There's some contact with some drivers, some backmarker drivers. He's going to be hoping for one better today, but I think today is going to be a tricky one for all drivers. Even though it's 45 minutes, it's a shorter race. Due to the technicalities, or due to the technicals of this track, I think you're going to find a lot of people struggling to stay on track, and you're going to find a lot more incidents and accidents. Maybe not even people colliding, but you're just going to have more people spinning themselves out, dipping their toes into the gravel, into the sand on the outsides. It's really easy to get the car rolling around if you just dip your toes in a little bit. So drivers are going to have to be extra careful to maintain clean, quick laps tonight, because it could be the difference between a win and a loss in your class. It could be the difference between a ruined race and a great race, and it may be only your own fault. Generally, I do see it being, single car accidents here, where people just take a turn too fast, take it too wide, and just make that mistake. So back markers are going to be one component I think that'll play into this race. You're also going to need to watch for people racing side by side, and at many points of this track, if people get side by side, it's going to matter a lot of who's got that optimal line or who's closest to the racing line, because there isn't much wiggle room in terms of where you want to be on track here, in order to gain, in order to have that optimal pace. There's really the racing line, and that's it. Other than the Andretti hairpin, where there's a little bit more opportunity. Oh, and you can see even skilled drivers, as I told you right there. Didn't I predict that even skilled drivers would have difficulties? Christopher Larson, who rarely makes mistakes, makes a mistake in the kink there. Probably shouldn't have been watching him. The pressure was on at that point, so he can blame me for that one. Apologies, need to get a drink real quick. Oh, and you can see Dubé there. He was barely holding onto the car. And that's just showing how treacherous the sand is here. These runoffs are, sure, they slow down your car, but they also make your car go sideways incredibly easy. It's basically sand and dirt when you get off of the racing line here. And your car doesn't slow down a lot. It's not like a gravel trap. You'll just keep going. There are gravel traps here, but you're just going to keep going if you dip your toes into those sand into that sand. But this is the penultimate round to season 15. It's been quite a wild season so far. Being a shorter season, it's almost nice in a way. It was split up into two very distinct parts, and also this is the first season I've been able to cast all the way through, which has been excellent to see the whole progression of the season and be a part of it. It's been awesome to be able to do that and not have to travel. But as we wind down this season, I want to let you guys know that if you're interested and you haven't joined already, feel free to join our Discord server. There's a link on the homepage of our YouTube channel to join the Zealous Racing League Discord server. That's where you're going to get the latest information on the next leagues that are about to come up. And if you're interested in joining us for some league racing, that's an excellent place to do it. We also have some other things going on. We've got a rally club, so if you are into doing some rally racing, we've got that for you. We have chat rooms for all major sports or motorsports. So World Challenge, IMSA, those are kind of linked together. Sports cars, Formula One, NASCAR, you name it. We got people talking about it. And then last but definitely not least, we've got a practice club. So if you're new to sim racing and you're looking to gain some time or just gain some pointers on how to be more consistent and maybe gain some speed, we've got a handful of drivers who are willing to work with you and spend some time helping you become the best racer you can be. So feel free to join on in and get involved with that if that's something that might interest you. Like I said, join that Discord server for all that information, and the link for that is on the homepage of our YouTube channel. Got 2 minutes 30 seconds until we go into qualifying. I believe it's a 12-minute qualifying if I'm not mistaken. I want to make sure I get that right. It might be a 15-minute qualifying. I may have got that wrong. Yep, 15-minute qualifying just because we have a little shorter race tonight, giving drivers just a little more opportunity to get in there and get a fast lap. This is a relatively short lap as well, only a minute 20 seconds-ish, 21 to 25 seconds really, although we have drivers who are all across that pace variance there. I did some laps earlier, and I believe I would be kind of right there at the front of the silvers, probably right between Carlos and Chase, maybe a little bit further back, Sean Collis. I think that's what my fastest laps were at the track, and that was even knowing that I could gain a little bit of time here and there if I improved some of my lines. One minute left. Apologies, gonna take another swig of that water. One thing to note, looks like Skylar Loverink has been able to finally fix the internet issues, which is great to see. He's looking awfully quick in free practice here. Only a couple more drivers out on track as well, so when they are all finished up, we'll move into our qualifying session. Oh, I guess another thing too, when I did the laps here, I was actually in the Ford, so I was not even in my primary car doing my hot laps. I was in the Ford because I was helping out another driver in the practice club. So, driving a car that is definitely not my own, and was able to get some decent times with it. All right, here we go. A little later into the day, 8 p.m., we're moving into qualifying. Let's check out Jonathan Clifford here. Looks like he's the first driver out. Christopher Larson is right behind him. I don't think we've actually followed Larson at all this season for his fast laps. So we'll actually follow Larson, I think, today for his hot lap here in qualifying so we can get a feel for the track. Now, I personally am a huge fan of Laguna Seca. I find the flowing nature of this course very enjoyable. Really trying to get into that flow and lock yourself into that racing line. Once you can hook everything together, it really starts to, I mean, it feels great when everything really starts to come together there. Actually, it looks like Larson might be having a few issues with netcode or internet there. Connection to the server. Looks like his car is actually jerking around a little bit. Not sure if that's just a visual thing or if that's maybe something he's feeling as well. But let's move into the cockpit. And follow Larson on his first hot lap here in the BMW. Down the start-finish straight you go. Start line is right there, right before the bridge. As you go up the hill and down towards the Andretti hairpin, you're going to brake at about the 3 there. And you want to let the car kind of coast in, and you don't want to be on the gas too early here. Great execution by Larson. Braking a little bit at the just before the 1 and powering in second gear. Keep it into third now. You really want to just try and tap the brakes, coast the car, let the car do the work, braking just after the 2, pretty much right on the 2 there. Up the hill you go. Little tap on the brakes, and a little bit of a short shift for Larson just to get a little bit of stability in the car as he powers up the hill. Braking right on the grate there and trying to get the car all the way to the right before sinking down into the corkscrew. A lot of coasting. Very light brush of the brakes there. And then into the final turn. A little bit squirrely for Larson, but that'll be the lap to beat a 21.9 out on the track there. A driver we're going to have to watch for here is Skylar Loverink as he looks to set his first fast lap. He had a lap last time around, but that wasn't good enough to get him on pole. In fact, even though it was technically faster than Larson, looks like he had an off-track excursion, caused him to lose out on that pole position as he scrapes the rear end of his Acura NSX on the curbing there. And I think that actually might be an off track for him as well, again. So even though he's setting some fast laps here, I think those are going to be invalidated due to an off-track excursion. as we got another car spun out there down the hill. I think that was Steve Young. As Lovering now into the final corner goes. And again, won't set a lap time due to the off-track excursions. Victor Pelord here, back at it in the pro class, driving the McLaren. Looks like Patrick DeBow is the car in front of him. That'll be good enough for P6 right behind Dubé. Carlos Flores had a couple penalties last week at Spa. Looking quick here again tonight in the semi-pro category. Currently sitting P4 overall. Excellent work from Flores again. Looks like some excellent pace, and we have a few people that want to look at Karl Mauer. You know, should I really give Mauer some screen time? That's the real question. Should I really be giving Mauer some screen time? Sure, we'll give him a little bit of screen time. And Skylar Lovering goes fastest with a 21.2. That's 0.4 faster than Larson. Finally is able to put one together. Now, if this is going to be a trend for the rest of the race, now that's going to be something we'll want to watch out for. Lovering can't afford to get too many off tracks lest he get a drive-through penalty. And with no mandatory pit stops this season, a drive-through penalty could be a race loser for him, really, because Larson's going to do everything in his power to stick with, and if you get a drive-through, I mean that's going to be a huge blow to the race. Mauer is an up-and-coming racer. I think that's a oh man, I think giving that much praise to him might go to his head. I think we need to calm ourselves with a little bit of the Mauer love tonight. Although, looking at his pace, looking quite quick tonight. The top 3 drivers in the semi-pro category are only split up by 0.3 of a second. So that's some actually good pace. I'll give him the credit here he deserves, because that is some excellent pace from Mauer tonight. And as Mauer crosses the finish line here, we'll see what he can get. Mauer will cross the line, and he's not going to improve. He's actually exactly a second slower than his last lap, but could have just been a dud. Let's go back to Augustine Detmeyer, who's been leading the rookie category all season. Didn't have a great race last week at Spa with the reverse championship grid order. Actually, the win last week went to Adam Lynch, who currently sits P6 in class. It was all down to consistency last week when it came to the rookie class. Who could stay the most consistent throughout the whole race? And, well, it ended up being Lynch at the end of the day. But in terms of point standings, Detmeyer has a commanding lead over the rookie class. It's a great performance for his first season, and great performance for his first season, and he's gonna, I think, with a little bit of practice, he could be quite quick. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Shelby. Sorry to hear that. I will say, though, that is kind of the point of qualifying, is to get P1 and improve your hot lap time. So I don't know exactly what happened there. It's probably some contact that was unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you back on track sometime. And that is true. Oh, we got a car backwards during the corkscrew there. If you're not first, you're last. No, that is definitely not the goal of qualifying. And if there was somebody who wrecked you, that is, since qualifying is part of that race weekend, more so than free practice. More so than free practice, I should say. You can submit penalties for qualifying if people are driving poorly. So I'd encourage you to get a recording of that and submit it. It's a really good question. Nicholson, I actually don't see. Oh, he is Nicholson right here with a 23.5, right up there in the mix with the top five drivers there, five drivers. Like I said, not much time splits, and actually, I say that Nicholson goes to the top of the semi-pro category with that last lap, a 22.797. Flores is the driver right behind him, about a little less than a tenth behind Nicholson in pace, and going to be looking to gain that here on this hot lap, as we've got 3 minutes left in quali. Oh, and Carlos just gets a little bit too zealous there through the corkscrew, and takes it sideways. Now, I'm not the one who makes the decisions in terms of who gets placed in gold division or who gets placed in what division. But given the spread right now, a driver like Nicholson might be moved into the higher division if he can continue this kind of pace. And I will say, Flores last week was also looking quite rapid, but with the reverse championship grid order in the classes, made it difficult for him to pass, and had some issues with that. 2 minutes left in qualifying as we watch Christian Dubé come around the final corner here, looking to improve his time, which he does. Moves up into P6 overall, right behind Nicholson in the order. Let's go to Christopher Larson here as he goes through the Andretti hairpin. Still has about 0.2, a little bit over 0.2 of a second to gain in his lap time when compared to Loverink. Loverink with a 21.13 and Larson with a 21.39. He actually was, Travis, if you looked at the free practice. If you looked at the free practice times, he was actually doing really well. And he got his penalties for that. And Larson does set a faster lap there. With a 21.2. And this will be his last attempt here as the checkered flag flies. Larson will get one more attempt. Loverink is done with his laps. Clifford is done with his laps. JP Belanger has only got he's got about a half a second to go to get to Jonathan Clifford's pace here. And Kaylor Nicholson now coming to the line. He'll cross. He won't improve. And just barely is not able to improve his time. Ooh, and Larson gets really squirrely there on the exit down the hill. And that's not going to be enough for Larson. Because now we watch Chase Gordon with Victor Pelord. Victor Pelord back there does spin out. And Chase Gordon just won't be able to get the lap. Invalidates there right at the end. All right, early morning race here tonight, or today, I should say, at Laguna Seca. One moment, need a sneeze. All right, let's go into the running order though and take a look at who's on the grid. We've got Skylar Loverink with the fastest time in qualifying, about 1/10 faster than Christopher Larson, who will line up right next to him in the number 2 car. Then we've got Jonathan Clifford right behind him in row 2 with Belanger. Row 3, Nicholson and Dubé. Row 4 will be Carlos Flores and Chase Gordon. Victor Pelord, Sean Collis, Maurer, Detmeyer, Landry, DeBow, Matt Lung, Rodman, Pinio, Swearingen, Sands, Lynch, Hirth, and last but not least, Andy Barwick. All right, got to make sure we can get the gap timer up there for our viewers so that they can see the gaps between our drivers. As of now we have 1 minute to go before it's got 1 minute before our drivers will go green for the formation lap. Then they'll line up 2x2 and go green for real. I do feel that sickness, the getting sick part. My kid and my wife also got me sick, and I just started feeling sick today. So definitely feeling it. Definitely feeling it. And already mentioned it once, but if you are new and interested in joining Zealous Racing League, be sure to, 1, like and subscribe because it goes a long way to show your support, but 2, if you're interested in joining our upcoming leagues and joining the community, there's a link on the homepage of our Discord, or sorry, there's a link on the homepage of our YouTube channel. That's where you can get to our Discord server, which has all the latest information on all things Zealous Racing League. You can maybe even talk to me and have me send some spicy memes to you, or possibly just make fun of you and roast you, because that's what I do to Mauer every day. Um, and Rodman, and really everyone. But it's all fun. We're having fun here. And here we go. Loverink leading the way on our formation lap. Drivers looking to just heat up their tires and brakes a little bit here. Tires should be fairly warm. We're looking at 21, 22 right now for track temperature. Dale's big bald head, exactly. I hope he watches this. Let's just talk about Dale's big bald head all night long. Exactly. I'm pushing him to be better through oodles of negative reinforcement. That's the only thing that I give Mauer. I really joke. Mauer is actually one of the one of the biggest watchers of my personal stream, so we have a lot of good conversations on there. And as our drivers come up the hill towards the Corkscrew, 22 drivers on the grid tonight. Yeah, Mauer is an up-and-coming racer. You see him coming up to your rear end, and then he runs into you. I kid. And now our drivers are 2 by 2 going across the penultimate corner. Before coming to the start-finish straight. Now, the start is going to be key for a driver like Larson. If he can get ahead of... If Larson can get ahead of Skylar here on the first corner, that will be the key. And we go green here at Laguna Seca for 45 minutes of driving as the drivers 2 by 2 go up and down the hill. Side by side, Larson and Loverink go. Larson brave into the braking zone. A little bit of contact between them, but that seems like okay by me. Some tough racing there. Tried to get that position early on. Did not work out for him. Clifford right on the tail of Larson as they come under the Cooper Tires bridge. Coming into Sector 2, here we go. And now Skylar Loverink, all he's got to do is run away with it at this point. He had some great pace and practice and qualifying. It's now up to him to just maintain his focus and composure. And he's going to have to watch out for that. He could have possibly just dipped his toes off track there. Looked clean, but it looked close to clean, but you never know. I could see if he's not careful, we could see some drive-throughs for track limits. Got a number 2 car, some contact there, accident with the number 2. That was right early into the race, an accident just a little bit ago into the Corkscrew with a few drivers. The 99 117, that is Mauer involved in that wreck there, along with the number 52 car along with the number 80 car of Matt Lung. That's Pinio, Lung, and Mauer involved in an incident there on lap 1. Loverink leads this race now as looks like Dale Rodman Jr. looking to get a position here on Mauer. Dale, the king of consistency, and interestingly enough, Augustine Detmeyer has moved his way up into P11 overall. That's gaining quite a few positions off the start. Actually, it's only gaining one. It looks like just enough drivers behind him got shifted up, so that's still a good performance from him. Biggest mover right now is Harrison Hirth, gained 5 positions on the start of this race. He's going to be looking to gain a few more, but right now he's sitting second in class with Glenn Pinio right behind him in the semi-pro class. Goes to defend. It's not really a place that you really need to defend because it's not really a place that you pass. So everything looks all right, though. Got a pack forming here. This is Maurer being accosted by Dale Rodman Jr. Right in front of him is Christian Landry and Augustine Detmeyer. And it looks like up in front of Detmeyer, there's starting to be a little bit of a gap. Larson just sets the fastest lap of the race on the last time out. And even though Loverink was technically faster, Loverink again with an off track. He's going to have to watch out if he's going to get that drive through. Glenn Pinio loses spot down the start finish straight to Matt Lung. Matt Lung on the inside. Pinio trying for the outside here through the Andretti hairpin. He goes deep, tries to come back around there, but Matt Lung's already made the move and looking to the outside. See, and that's where it's difficult. Oh, and runs into the bat of Matt Lung. Oh, and collects Shane Swearingen there. And that was a pretty big shunt there. And that's why you have to watch out for that move right there. Leaves Matt Lung with a broken car. Probably going to have to go back to the pits and repair that damage. But that's not looking good for... that is not looking good. Oh, and we've got another big spin here in the corkscrew. We've got drivers dropping like flies here. Like I said, technical track, tricky track here. The 46 of Christian Landry still sideways in the corkscrew there as another driver's coming back. That's Harrison Hirth. Looks like he also had a bit of an issue there. Was running second in class there for a while, but no longer. Detmeyer moves back to 13th, and Maurer and Rodman will move ahead. Rodman still right behind Maurer, and almost looks like he's going to run into Maurer there. Maurer does go wide, goes side by side into sector 2 there. Looks like that's going to be a position for Rodman. Just taking advantage of another driver's mistake. Excellent moves from Rodman there. Now he's just going to look to... Did you guys hear that too? I heard it was almost like a gunshot there. Been having some weird audio issues. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I sure heard it. Anyway, Larson again sets the fastest lap of the race, and that one actually was faster than Loverink the last time through. Yeah, that was wild. That happened the other day in Assetto Corsa for me. I was playing with Lenny. I was racing with you, Lenny, and Larson, and that same kind of thing happened. So I'm glad it's not just me. That's something coming through my desktop audio, and I'm just glad my headset isn't breaking. So anyway. Gordon on Christian Dubé up the hill, looking to make the move as they go through the kink, and he's going to make it stick. And Chase Gordon continues to lead the semi-pro category there with a nice commanding performance. I'm going to have to check the standings after this, but I think Chase is currently leading the championship standings for the semi-pro class. And if it isn't him, then it's got to be Kaylor Nicholson, who's dropped back quite a bit here now behind Carlos Flores. Looks like, or actually, no, that was just a little bit of a breakage in my my streaming tool there. But Flores now having a good race here, P2 in class, and he's holding on to the back of Dubé with Nicholson here. And if they can get their way up to Nicholson, Chase Gordon is within their sights. Patrick Dubeau looking to overtake the rookie driver ahead of him. Under the Mother's Bridge they go on the inside, and he is going to make the move. And I think Detmeyer may have just let him go by a little bit there just to make it easier. That's not really a place you want to go too wide. It's pretty treacherous just going in yourself. As we saw in free practice, even skilled drivers can lose themselves there. Travis did note that we've got Nicholson in the lead, currently sitting P3. That should be a good performance for him. But Gordon, looking at he's currently sitting P3 in the championship, P1 in this race. You know, the last couple races has been kind of a mismatch of what driver is, you know, finishing where. So really tonight it's just going to be who can stay the most consistent throughout most of this race and bag up as many points as possible. Flores now right on the rear of Dubé as they come up the hill towards the VP Racing Bridge. Under the bridge they go through the kink and takes it very narrow. Flores there, not even close to using the whole track there. But he was safe, which is the big factor there. Andy Barwick falling back there. Yellow flag for his car, as I think he just spun out there before the tires banner. Rodman now coming to the rear of Collis here. He's sitting P5 in class. Rodman just gaining a little bit of time every corner, it looks like. Currently sitting half a second behind Collis. And he's going to have some time to make up to get up to Nicholson then ahead of him, but he doesn't really have to get all the way up there. And this is what I mean about those lapped drivers already coming into play here. Harrison Hurth falling back there. Lap drivers are going to have to be very honest with themselves about where they let people through. Let's go back to the lead battle here. This is Christopher Larson right ahead of him. This guy, the Loverink, is currently sitting 1.5 seconds back, but that's been fluctuating anywhere from a second to a second and a half. Loverink hasn't been able to shake him. Rodman now right on the tails of Sean Collis if you look at the deltas. That's a driver off. that was Harrison Hirth. By the looks of it, if I had to guess. You know, Larson is good, but I think people need to recognize that he has spent a ton of time on this game. And he has spent a ton of time in racing sims, you know, period. Larson has raced in real life. He's racing, you know, he's racing in these leagues. He's very good at just understanding the cars that he's in. Oh, and as they go by, that's is that Andy Barwick? Indeed it was. I think Larson thought he was going to let him through a little bit easier there, but Larson did get a little bit of a tap in there. Shane Swearingen right behind Harrison Hirth goes wide. Saw some close deltas there between him and Patrick DeBow in front. Swearingen currently sitting P2 in class. Victor Pelord is pitting. Actually, that might have been Pelord who, went off the track there. And looks like Victor's car there is looking pretty worse for wear. Let's watch Rodman working to take on Sean Collis. McLaren versus Lamborghini. Dubé just overtakes Gordon as they go into the Andretti hairpin. These two going back and forth. That puts all the silver drivers back into one little bunch there. And looking at the deltas or the lap times, looks like Larson is setting some pretty fast laps there, just slightly faster than Loverink, sticking with him quite well there. Like I was saying, you know, Larson spent time racing in real life. He spent a lot of time in these games. He knows these cars very well. He knows what he needs to feel in order to go fast, and he knows these tracks. And really, when it comes down to it, it's that, like, sure, there's some innate talent in there, but he's really put in the time to be good. And sure, I've done some racing against him when I've been like closer in terms of pace to him. Like, his pace is not, it's not unachievable, but most of the time it's him that's telling me, oh, you can do this here, and that's how you go faster. And sure enough, I do what he told me to, and I go a bit faster. Now, I will say, I've been doing some racing with Larson on some ovals, and I've been able to best him in terms of some knowledge of the cars that we've been racing. But I don't think it's more so a fact of him not understanding that it's faster. It's just we haven't raced the cars, those oval cars, that much, and we just don't know them yet. So Rodman, let's go back to him. Looks like he's lost just a little bit of time here. Maurer right on the heels. As they go up the hill, and Collis doing an excellent job. Maurer does actually look a little bit on the inside there, but does think better of it. Collis pulling ahead of these two. Yep, and there you see Rodman just dipping his toes into the sand there a little bit. Slows his car down, but more importantly, your cars just feel so unsettled there that you start to lose your sense of grip. Nicholson on Flores. Ooh, lapped car ahead. Off track. Well, this battle is letting Chase Gordon really run away with it now. Dubé and Gordon were, within a second of these two earlier, but now with them battling, do apologize for not talking too much, trying to just maintain my voice here a little bit. Andy Barwick lets Landry through. Checking on our leader. Rodman actually gets by Sean Collis there. Into the corkscrew. Collis must have had a big mistake. Moves Rodman into fourth. Rodman and Gordon have been are the two that'll be most likely to win the championship, because there was somebody who noted it in chat, but Nicholson will not make it to the final round due to other commitments. But it'll be down to the last round for sure between Rodman and Nicholson, and Gordon. Blue flag for the driver ahead. I believe that's Barwick. Maurer still looking for that opportunity to overtake Collis. Tricky track. Collis does go wide though into the final turn. That will give Maurer the position. Battle for third. Second. Oh, interesting. Gordon is out next week as well. Swearingen, I think, moves ahead of DeBow there. I think Bartlett's still a fast silver. I think he would even put himself in there as well. Ooh, Caleb Nicholson looking for an opportunity. Flores doesn't get the exit that he's hoping for. Down the hill they go. Nicholson putting the pressure on. Lapped car here. Ooh, this is dangerous. All right, they make it by. It's the 42 car of Sands. Tricky part of the track to let a driver through there. Looking for that opportunity. Looks like Nicholson might have the pace here. Yeah, Travis, I've been doing a bunch of LFM as well, and it seems kind of similar. I mean, I think the issue is that the penalties can't be enforced the same way that, let's say, like iRacing does for off-track penalties. I've had drivers cut corners and gain 3 seconds from cutting a corner, and I don't think they get track cut penalties or warnings for that. And they don't get slowdowns as either, which they should. That's one thing about iRacing that I wish I could, I could get with LFM, is a bit better penalty system. I bash iRacing, I think, a lot, like from a monetization standpoint, but from a penalty standpoint, there's a lot to like. Now, obviously, for a league, that kind of goes out of the window because the league, leagues are handled a different way. But Dubé, actually, looks like Belanger made a mistake there. I bet he went off track on the kink. Dubé was able to catch up. Now we've got a battle in the pro division here. Larson still holding to Loverink within a second. Up the hill they go, Belanger on Dubé. Nicholson is the closest he's been. Down the start-finish straight they go. Just isn't enough pace against the McLaren. Larson now. Awfully close. This is the closest he's been for a few laps now. Eight-tenths of a second on the Delta board. Looks like it's definitely these middle sectors where Larson's getting the most pace. Nicholson on Flores, still awfully close. 15 minutes left in this race. They go into the final corner. Flores has to go defensive. Nicholson goes off track a little bit there. And Flores still has that launch. Able to hold out another day. This is awfully close for Larson as they come down the start-finish straight. Again. Now a half a second. He's right on the tail of Loverink into the Andretti hairpin. A little bit squirrely for Loverink there. I think the problem too with online racing is the lack of stewarding. Like you just can't have a steward. So you're going to get people who are going to be a little aggressive, take like 4 incident points, gain a position, and then they'll try to have a clean race after that. You know, it's how the cookie crumbles. In the braking zones, Larson so much more confident in his BMW. Killer Nicholson again on Flores. Up the hill they go. Oh, and with that lapped car, makes it even more difficult there. Oh, good on Nicholson there to swerve out of the way from hitting Flores. Right on the tail he goes, down the start-finish straight. Looking good. Nicholson, where's he going to go? Looking on the outside. Flores covers the inside. Side by side they go. Wide line for Nicholson. Now things start to narrow out in terms of a racing line thing here, so not really an opportunity for Nicholson to gain a position there. The 66 car and the 99 car have some contact there. Let's head back to our leaders. Check out the battle here. Trading blows back and forth, these two. Just looking for an opportunity. Let's head back to Nicholson and Flores. Looks like some excellent lines from Nicholson there. Now less than 10 minutes left. In the rookie class, it's Detmeyer, Swearingen, Lynch. Semi-pro class, we've got Gordon, Flores, Nicholson. Rodman kind of just holding his own there in P3. Yellow flag for Dubé. As Belanger moves by, Dubé has a bit of an incident there. Belanger will regain the position. Dubé loses out on that 4th place he earned so graciously from a mistake there from Belanger earlier. Larson, side by side as they go up the hill here now. Looks on the inside, cheeky little look. They both know. Oh, and Larson goes wide there up the hill. Does excellently to maintain control of the car. These two battling it out. Duking it out. Larson still with the fastest lap of the race. Probably will hold that. There they go. Take a look at some of the other drivers, just give them some screen time here. Louis Sands holding out there in the rear. Just trying to make it through nice and clean. Looks like there's not too much damage on that Ford. And looking good. Adam Lynch has been having a fairly clean race as well. Coming off his first win at Spa last week. Just trying to stay consistent and out of trouble. Swearingen currently sitting P2. Has been having a few issues tonight with some yellow flag moments. but has some good pace. We got some fans of Lynch there. Oh, that's awesome to hear. So, a little bit of a special day for Adam Lynch today. And I wish my voice was better, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adam. Happy birthday to you. There you go, guys. There's my singing on stream. That's for Adam right there. Man, my voice does not feel good. Probably shouldn't have done that, but we're good. Christian Landry now, the 46. I think my register is a little lower right now. I can't get up to my high notes, so I had to do that in a lower. All right, Patrick DeBow here in the Ford Mustang. Now, the Mustang has been an interesting car here, I feel like. I think I was getting 43s, but I was expecting this car not to feel nearly as good as it does here. It actually does feel okay, which I was very surprised. Didn't have as much time in it as I'd hoped, but yeah, felt good. Glenn Pinio now, letting the lapped drivers ahead of him by. As he comes now up the hill into the Corkscrew. Let's watch him navigate it. And we'll move to Augustine Detmeyer, is currently leading his class. Kind of on his own out there right now. Doesn't really have anyone near him. Closest car to him is way, way up there. So just kind of vibing. Just kind of vibing. Larson looking close again. Now, with these lapped cars, I have to just watch this. Oh my gosh, that is dicey. Diving right ahead of Dale. I wouldn't have done that in any other driver other than Dale. And looking here. Oh, and that is contact between Kaylor Nicholson and Flores. Nicholson had the position, and looks like they just outbraked each other a bit there. Heading into the Andretti hairpin. I'm sure they're gonna just there might be a penalty there. We'll have to see. Could have been just a missed braking zone. I'm not really sure what happened earlier, but that looked pretty. Looked like he was coming in pretty hot. Let's head back to Sean Collis, currently sitting P6. He's gotten his own zone now after Rodman and Maurer passed him. Just kind of sitting in his own little bubble here. P6 in class. Karl Maurer battling still with Dale Rodman. Yeah, you're probably right. And Maurer, ooh, looking on the inside, holding the brakes. Oh, excellent work from Maurer. That is what you have to do there in that situation. If you flinch there, you're going to run right into the back. And Loverink and Larson. We've got an accident there. We got to watch this back. And it looks like Loverink is ahead at this point. Or Larson is ahead, sorry. Ooh, and has a bit of an accident there. Goes wide. And Larson now holding the lead of the race. Dang, I wish I would have watched this. because now we have another battle going on here. Maurer versus Dale Rodman Jr. Rodman looking for the defense. And they should be good there for a little bit. We'll go to Flores, who had a quite substantial little contact there with Nicholson. Chase Gordon, who's leading the class there, has gotten a nice buffer for the cars behind now. Now it's his to lose with Christian Dubé ahead 3 seconds. Had some issues today. Was in P4 for a little bit there. Made a really good comeback drive and gained up some positions, but conceded that fourth place position to JP Belanger, who's up here in fourth place now, currently 30 seconds behind the driver ahead, who is Jonathan Clifford. Not too much from Jonathan today, just kind of out there lapping fast laps, but nobody really to challenge him out there today. Skylar Lovering still looking for an opportunity now to overtake Larson, and Larson now has the lead of the race. Well, it's coming down to the last few laps here. We have 30 seconds left. And given where our lead drivers are now, this looks to be the last lap of the race, as Larson and Lovering off the track there. Coming in hot to the Corkscrew. And with what I can only imagine was an excellent move, I wish I would have caught it as I was going through the rest of the drivers. Larson will round that final corner on the white flag lap to see the checkered wave. He will come away with the win with Lovering right behind. Jonathan Clifford will be third unless something major happens. But watching the battle here, Maurer and Rodman go to the line, and that'll be Rodman just eking out the fourth place finish over Maurer. Jonathan Clifford crossing the line there in P3. Behind Carl Maurer, Sean Collis crossed the line for P6 in class. Swearingen Lynch both crossed the line. Louis Sands now moving to the line as well. Looks to be some damage on the front end of that Ford, and JP Belanger is right behind. He will come away with a P4 finish, and Dubé, not far behind, was catching him in the final laps. Just didn't have the pace in the end, but comes away with a P5 finish in class. Nicholson will get P2 in the semi-pro category, and Carlos Flores will get P3 in that category. And last car, but definitely not the least, Christian Landry coming across the line for P9 in the P9 in the class. Now, I actually don't know where the incident was or where the overtake happened to be, but I guess what we could do is go to replay, and I missed it. Shoot, I don't have the replay now. Dang it, I wish I would have grabbed that. Apologies for that. Apologies. I would have loved to have grabbed the replay of that battle. Would have been awesome to see. But we'll have to suffice with. We'll have to suffice. I didn't actually see the in-game chat. Was it pretty spicy? I don't. Ooh, yeah. We don't want to. We don't want to show that anymore. There's definitely, definitely put some F's in the chat. We don't want to show that anymore. Oh gosh. Um, but apologies for not being able to see that final battle there. Maybe what we'll do is we'll get a brief clip of it and we'll maybe post it on the channel as a short or something if we can get a replay. But yes, normally I would have loved to have saved that replay first, but so many things were happening, just missed it. But anyway, in the pro category though, for our overall win, we've got Christopher Larson coming away with the win of that race right at the end there with Lovering shortly just right behind. Lovering held the lead for most of the race, just wasn't able to close it out. Jonathan Clifford with another excellent performance gets P3. Belanger and Dubé right behind. Chase Gordon will come away with the semi-pro victory, and behind him is Nicholson and Flores to round out the podium positions there. Rodman will come away with an excellent fourth place performance against Maurer. Great battles between him and Maurer. A lot of respect, and always love to see good battles like that out on track. It was close. Could have been anyone. Sean Collis will come away with P6 in class. Pinio, DeBow, Landry, some other drivers coming in behind. And last but not least, the rookie class of the drivers who finished, it's Detmeyer who comes away with another win. Swearingen, Lynch, and Sands will come away with the other positions there. We have Hirth, Barwick, and Young, who Young didn't finish any laps for the race, but was in qualifying for a bit. But Hirth and Barwick will come away after that. And then we also have Lung, who finished a few laps of the race. He is P10 overall. Pallord will be P6 in his class. Some divisive things tonight, though, guys. You never love to see, drivers that you race with a lot, having, all these issues. I don't know. It's hard. As someone who's been with this league for a long time and gotten to know a lot of these drivers, gotten to talk with them, it's always hard when you see some of the divisiveness of some of the moves, you see the heated moments. I think it's important to recognize that at the end we're here to try to have fun and get better. I know, when it's consistent, it hurts and it sucks, and you think maybe some injustice is being done, and I know I felt it too. I felt it a few seasons ago when I was racing. I felt like there was always constant issues with certain drivers, but yeah, I think what we can all do is learn from any of the situations and just try to do better next time. Maybe, you know, maybe it's you shouldn't be as aggressive going into the turns. Not to say that all of the incidents were because somebody was too aggressive, although usually actually that is, there is one person. But, if you find yourself getting into these situations, like evaluate it, see see what's going on, where these issues are arising, and just try to be honest with yourself and figure out where you can improve. And if you're looking to improve and you need questions or have questions, come to the practice club or just reach out to myself, Lenny, or anyone else. We'd be happy to be honest with you about what we see and help you to improve. We talked a lot about different types of racing, types of racing that you can do. LFM, sure, there's a lot of bumping and crashing, but if you can get safely through an LFM race, there's a lot of racecraft that you can learn from there. I know I still have a ton to learn from in that. And yeah, a good example, GT3 races in real life, there's a ton of crashes in those. I went to the GT3 races at Road America last year, and there were tons of crashes in the class. Um, it comes with the territory. It happens in real life. It's never good to see, but you learn from those mistakes. Um, And sometimes, yeah, you're the one who gets hit, and it really does suck. I totally get it. Maybe nothing that you did wrong, It may not be your fault at all, but it happens and it sucks, and you just have to move on and hope that the penalties are just and that the person learns. Um, so anyway, that's all I have to say about it. I know there's a lot of heated topics tonight, so hopefully everyone can cool off a little bit here, put in their incidents, and hopefully we can all come out next week better drivers and more level-headed drivers. And yeah, I'll get off my soapbox here and just thank you all for joining us for tonight's race, 45 minutes at Laguna Seca. Round 5 is our penultimate round, so next week we'll be back with a 75-minute Crown Royale race at Kailami, the pinnacle race of Zealous Racing League. A favorite track, I think, of almost all the drivers in ZRL, and myself included. And so we come back with a long one next week. 75 minutes, no mandatory pit stops for, um, you know, no mandatory pit stops for our drivers. So it's going to be a good one. We'll have to see what drivers will choose to do. Um, it's going to be fun, and it'll be the final round of the season. And if you're interested in joining Zealous Racing League and you haven't already, please be sure to join our Discord server, which has got a link on the homepage to our YouTube channel. You're going to find all the information on upcoming leagues and different events that we run. We've got, like I said, chat rooms. We've got coaching sessions. We've got Rally Club. We've got a lot of stuff. And yeah, we'd love to have you. All right, guys, that's all I have, though. My name's Shim. I've been your host for tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and be sure to stay safe out there. All right, everyone. Peace.